Good evening. Hi, Judy. How are you? There's always a little delay when we start, so I sit here for probably 20 seconds and as I wait for a few people to jump on. You're great. Awesome. Hi, Linda. Can't believe it's Friday again. Hi, Jennifer. My gosh, you've been busy creating. Um, Linda, I'm great. It's been a busy work week, so I don't have the sample card to show you, but that's okay. I think I am prepped. I did some prepping through the week. Yes, I've been busy die cutting, so I like doing things um, in kind of assembly line order, especially when it comes to die cuts. So it's 6:31. There looks like there's 8 of you on, so I'm going to just dive right in. Before I start, I just want to let you know that there are kits available for the little album that we did. So those are at the store. So tonight I am working with Elizabeth Craft products mostly, but I always dig in my own stash and see what I have that I can use along with new products. Hi, Dale. So first and foremost, the paper. And I went ahead and I cut off the name of the paper pack. So I don't know what the name of it is, but it was her new Christmas line. And they even, this was part of the cover, and they even put like a full sheet of paper on the opposite side of the cover. But I really like the hexagon pattern, and there's no other pattern like it in the book. This just kind of shows you all the different styles of paper that was in that collection. I am in love with the collection. So what I decided to do is I decided to do cards and envelope combos. So I already did my envelope. So there was 12 sheets of paper. That means I cut for the regular A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I did all the envelopes for that. So I'm going to show you the paper just by looking through the envelopes. So this one here's got blue on one side, and the inside it's like a green. This one has bells and poinsettias and ornaments, and the inside is kind of like a blue checker. And this one had blue, and it had a pattern down the side of it. And then the inside is bells. So I have all my scraps put to the side because I'll use those to build my cards. This one also had a big scene onto it with some blue, and it had green stripes. This one's a really pretty one. Stars, and then with blue with another little scene. I love sending pretty mail. I just love it, and the people at the post office enjoy it coming through too. This one was green with a full side of poinsettias and snowflakes and little red berries, and then we got the red plaid on the inside. That's really cool. And then this one was green with a scene of ornaments with the bells. So kind of the opposite of the other page that I showed you. And we might be getting into some repeats. I think there was there must have been 2 of 6 design. And this time I put the plaid on the outside with the blue inside. So I just love the envelopes made with the paper. Now, All & Create has a stamp out. Thanks, Judy. They are gorgeous. I don't know what the receivers do with the envelopes, but I'm hoping they keep them too. So All & Create has a new stamp. I did get one when I was at the store, but I left it in my box to be shipped. And it's kind of like a letter stamp, and it's just big enough where there's room to write the address. So when that comes, I'm going to stamp the outside of the envelopes with that. Now, if I get an envelope that's really busy, like this one here, I just cut a nice decorative piece of white or cream or craft paper and put it down so that I can write the address down. And then this one was another ornament in berries, the green. And then the last one was a nice bell and plaid. So 12 envelopes. I'll get 12 plus cards. Yeah, that one there, that's the cover, Cindy, of the paper pack. So it's Elizabeth Craft. It was her Christmas line. I can't remember what the name of the line is because I cut it off. I do apologize for that. But it was her only Christmas line that she had. And I just loved the color. So these hexagons just represent all the different patterns in the pack. But I think I'm going to cut these out and use them somewhere in my cards. Like I could even cut out a hexagon and put it on the front to write your label on. All kinds of cool ideas. So I wanted to show you that and the envelopes so you can see what the paper looked like. But this is the die set. This is the globe. It's called Snow Globe number 2167. And this is, I've been waiting for a nice snow globe size that, you know, wasn't going to take up the whole front of the card, but was going to take up a good portion of the card because I still like to put other things around. And this is perfect. And it comes with trees. These are little stars, and I'll show you all these things cut out because I cut them all out. It even comes with the large base so that if you have one of her planners, you can do that. I don't have, well, I guess I do have her planner, but you can also use this as a book, as like one of those books that you sew up the spine. If you cut out a bunch of this shape and then fold it in two, you'd have an adorable book with these jaggedy edges that I think would look fantastic. But you have presents, you have baubles, you have little labels. There's the presents there. This one is like almost little flowers. I think it's supposed to be poinsettias. And then this one is the stars and then the deer. So all kinds of things to play around with, whether you're doing it for planner or for cards. And I will use this, cut out some stone paper. Absolutely, absolutely, Jennifer, the stone paper would be gorgeous using that die. Anything to sew up and make a little book. So I think I'm going to get some really good use out of this die. So let me show you the pieces cut out. So this is, and I cut out 12, so I plan on doing 12 cards to start because I had the 12 envelopes. But I'm going to start with a memory dex. So it'll be like 12 cards plus my memory dex, just so that I can keep this and have a reference. You know, that's the whole idea behind keeping our memory dex for Christmas, is so that I can have a reference next year to see what I made the previous year. Sometimes I repeat, sometimes I don't. Most times I don't. So I cut out all the fronts with this really shiny silver. I had cut out all the backs with a black originally because I thought I wanted the black as the back. But then I realized, no, I think I want blue to show like a nice night sky for the scene that I'm going to do. So I went back and cut out, I took some of the scraps of the pattern paper and cut out 12 backs like this. And here are the labels. So nice and tiny, and they can sit right down on the front of this die like this. I have to stamp a little sentiment on here, and I'm going to use this set. It's LDRS. Remember I said I used it in a past session, how tiny the little words are and how nice they'll fit. And like, you know, you can even do more little ornaments if you don't want to do a word right there. But I'm going to use it, I'm going to put twinkle. That's the word I'm going to use for the front here. What else? Here's the little deer, and I just used craft paper because the paper itself, like the pattern paper, has lots of craft on it. Now you can take your distress inks and kind of ink them up if you want more. It's the same as the blue. If you want to make the nighttime a little darker, you just take your distress ink and ink it in to make it a little darker. So there's the deer. I cut out some of the ornaments, or each of the two ornaments, using the same shiny paper. Oh, where did that one go? It went right in my little bucket because I've been busy cutting out other things too. So there's the little ornaments, and they cut really, really nice, like these little holes right there. Here are the trees. So there's 3 shapes of trees, and I cut them out using the Spellbinder's white sparkle paper because I thought the trees, of course, they need to be snowy. And there are 3 sizes, so large, small, and medium. So there's those 3 sizes of trees. This also comes in the die cut. It's kind of your snowbanks. Again, I cut it out with the white sparkly. So one will lay flat, and you can use 1 or you can use 2. But I'm going to use the 2, but I'm going to pop this one up on top. So it kind of looks like it's 2 snowbanks. And it's really nice and glittery. I know you can't see it well. Well, you can certainly see how silver that is. But this Spellbinder sparkle paper is awesome. The sparkles don't come off. I got a bunch of it last year when I did the little Spellbinder figgy pudding, because I used that for his hair. So I have the little slopes made with that. And then I look through my stash because I'm thinking, okay, I could have some with the deer and trees and ornaments, but I want to do a little village. So I found 2 dies. This one here is the Gina K die, and I don't mean to show you these to all the Spellbinder's paper. It's great, yes it is, to tease you with a die maybe you can't get or whatever. But the whole point is look through your stash and see what you can make work inside of this. Hi, Sam. Hi, Gay. Stuck on the 401 traffic. I'm glad you're on. Aw, darling, you be safe out there. So I'm going to use like this little village. So I cut out a bunch of houses in white. So there's one. Here's another one. So I got so many options to build scenes. There's a tall house. I know they're not all going to fit on one card. There's another tall one. Here's one of a church, which is cool. It's this one here. And then I pulled from my stash, and I had this iridescent paper, and I cut some of these slimmer trees. So I cut a bunch of those. I did some lamp posts. I didn't show you the stars. This is from the original Elizabeth Craft die. So that one die of stars cuts out a whole bunch of little ones. So that's going to go into the night sky, hence the word twinkle. So there's just so much to play with. And then these itsy bitsy snowman. Isn't that cute? That come from the Gina K one. So look through your stash. When you get into the store, if you want village scene, just look through the dies, look through the stamps, and see what you have that maybe you can cut out. But really, like, this is going to get some good use for masculine cards, a nice globe. Like, you know, this deer can be any time of the year. For masculine cards, the mountains, these little things could be mountains versus snowbanks. Like, you know, you can have them up this way. So you just have to use your imagination. So that's kind of what I'm going to use. The other thing I had pulled aside was the Minte. This is called Holly Leaves, and it is a small enough, you could make a scene on little tags too. Yes, I mean, sky's the limit. You can do whatever your imagination lets you do. But also this globe is large enough that if you wanted to do some stenciling on the background instead of using the stars, this would easily take a nice stencil. And I might do that with some of the Tim Holtz snow paste for some of the backgrounds. For the Memory Decks card, I pulled this one here out tonight. So it's this one. So remember, I did a die cutting session just with my Memory Decks, and oh my gosh, they're coming out with a bunch of new ones. I tagged Heather, and she said she's got them on order, so I can't wait. I'm just addicted to them. So I cut a whole bunch out, and I just stuffed them back in the package, and they got all the little bits cut out too, so I'm all ready to go. So I just grabbed that one for no rhyme or reason. And this is the pattern paper that I cut, which I'm going to glue over the top. So let's get going with our Memory Decks one. Oh, and then I have a package of these that I got at the store. It's a Prima flower, a holly leaf that I really wanted to incorporate somewhere on there, because I think that's just, it just goes with the theme of sparkles, and it's brown leaves, and it goes perfect with the paper. I don't know if there's any more of this paper at the store or not, but I think Heather should see if she can get some more in, because it's beautiful paper. So I'm just going to put some glue on my edges. I'm so thankful for this glue press because I'm a shaker, and I used to make such a mess with trying to get glue on fine lines. Now I still make a mess sometimes, but it's not as bad because the tip of this is so fine that I don't have glue, kind of big clumps of it seeping out. So go around the edges really good, because that's the part that I really want stuck down, so we have some longevity out of our Memory Decks. And I have the sleigh made, and it's sitting there. I didn't paint the sleigh or do anything to it because I thought the cards it's going to hold is going to add so much color that I really didn't want the color of the sleigh competing in any way. I might decide to paint it later once my cards all get stacked in there, but we'll see. So when you do an assembly line kind of deal, it's easy then just to sit and put together. So this is the back, and I am going to glue this on the front. I'm not using acetate in this one, like I'm not making it a shaker card, which is another option you can do, but it's because I used the Spellbinders like glitter foam, and that has dimension, and I really want to pack it full of little bits to make a good scene, that I did not want to deal with acetate that would bubble out. I know what else is in the store is some of those round domes. I don't know if there's any that would fit this or not, but that would be sweet if there was, because then you could still build a scene and you'd have a dome that was large enough to accommodate that. So I'm just going to put this aside for the moment, and I'm going to take my snow and put that down. What are you guys up to this weekend? I want to get my garlic planted, And that's really all that I have on my to-do list. I got to go vote tomorrow. It's our municipal election, you know. Today is Person's Day because I believe, if I remember correctly, 1929 was when women were permitted to vote. So I thought that was really interesting. And I always try to do my part around elections. I'm not a political person, but I do believe it is a privilege. I'm just taking out some pop dots because I do want to pop up this bank. I'm just trying to decide if I want anything behind it first. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, I think I'm going to put my little deer. And I'm not going to put a pop dot or anything behind the deer yet, because I may want to put tree behind him. But I want to get him down first. And then I'm going to do a little pop dot here. You're taking the trip to, oh, have you been there yet, Dale? It's beautiful. You're in for a treat. Even if you had been there, you're still in for a treat. The last video that Heather showed, her and Betty were so excited over the auction stuff. And I was looking at the background of the classroom, and it looks like it's really coming together. A lot of work being done there. I even use, I'm sure you guys do, but like the edges of your pop tape, I use everything. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there too, just to make sure it's going to stick to the sparkle. And you can go up with your little hill or down, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you haven't been there yet? Well, you have fun. So that's where we're at so far. So that is silver. It looks copper or gold that way, but this is silver. You could certainly, gold would go nice with this paper, copper, whatever you have. Now for trees. So we got these big ones, but I also have a smaller one. I have two sizes. Maybe one of the silver trees on this side. And you can cut your trees out of green if you want, and then put snow on them. For some reason, I just really wanted to gravitate to silver. Hi, Cheryl. You're new. Oh, welcome. This is their Facebook page, as you know, because you're on it, and I'm one of the designers for Unique. There's myself, there's Heather, the owner, Heather's sister, Betty, and then we have Diane. So there's 4 of us that get on here and offer free tutorials and little classes. Sometimes there's kits to buy. I was just telling the girls that my last class that I had was a little mini album. So if you just search under events, you'll see all the past videos, and there are kits for that still at the store. So welcome, welcome. I am using ElizabethCraftPaper and the die cuts to do up a little scene here that's going to go on a memory decks card. And the whole purpose of that, the memory decks, is so that, I'm going to put this tree back there, is so that I can keep kind of journal, but in a memory decks fashion, of the designs of the cards that I've done for 2024. So I do one memory decks card that I keep, and then I usually do a bunch of cards to either sell or give away with the rest of the things that I cut out. So what I'm using is mostly the Elizabeth Craft, it's called Snow Globe die set, but I'm also using bits and pieces from a die set in my stash that has these little village houses. So I'm going to see if it's possible. I think it's possible to put a house there, but which one do I want? Do I want a shorter one? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I kind of like this tall one. Everything's kind of tall in the background, so I'm gravitating to the tall. And there's just so much detail you could add. Like you could put gold paper. You could put the gold paper behind your house for lights. There's just so much. And of course you can color your house or use colored paper, but I just wanted the look of white on silver, and it is getting dimensional. I'm really liking it. So I'm going to take a few of these stars. Where did I put them? Right here. And I want the tiny ones. And I want at least 3, maybe a larger one with a tiny one. And put a couple of stars because my saying is going to be twinkle. And then we'll see if we can put any more down. So I'm just going to take my little, I have a little thing that's meant for picking up. Kind of got rubber on one side. These little things. They're for gems and things, but there we go. Doesn't really grab well to the one there. Now I always like to do odd numbers, so I think I'm going to stick with the 3. Because if I put more, I'd have to put 5. What do you think of that so far? I really like that. It's pretty cool. So like I have these little containers I picked up at the dollar store. So when I do die cutting, I just fill up a little container and then I'm good to go. Like I even have little lamp posts in here. So we're all good. I think I'm good with that one. So then I'm going to put my little banner on. This one I'm going to lay flat. And black is just very striking against the silver. Of course you could put brads in through to add more. How far over does this go? Yeah, you could. I don't think I will to this one, but you definitely could. Or take your tiny attacher and put a staple in. I might do that on either side once I stamp. I have to stamp my little saying first. So again, LDRS. I just have this kind of sitting over with my Christmas stuff. And I really like the small stamps. I bought this one and I bought the winter one because I just like the tiny stamps for tiny spaces. And I want a little block, which is what I'm looking for. And whenever I stamp, I have some sort of a spongy thing. Oh, no problem, Linda. Thanks for joining as long as you did. So that you can really stamp in, because it's kind of, you got a one-shot deal when you're freehanding it. And these are just a little bit too tiny, I find anyway, to do in my Misty. You guys might find you can manage it, the Misty, good, but I just find it's a little bit too small. And some people will stamp a bunch and then cut them out, and that's an option too. But I want to get this really inked up, and it's my first time using this stamp, so I just want to stamp it on something to make sure. And of course you could emboss it. You can do all kinds of things. And I'm just going to hold it there for a minute. And I'm not like squeezing it tight, but I am letting the ink sit on the surface. That's not bad. I have textured cardstock, so I feel like that did pretty good. And I could go in with my pen to, you see there's just a few little white dots there, but I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to pop this one up. So I'm going to leave my twinkle here because I have the bunch more that I need to stamp. I'm just going to put that to the side. Pop up this little tab here. My favorite pop tape is the big roll, and that's what I gravitate to if the area is wide enough to handle. But when it's tiny, then I go for my pop dots. And then we're going to put that there. Well, this is darling, I have to say. I am loving it. And now, this is how my Memory Decks card is going to go in. Now I'm watching All in Create, and their designers use their Memory Decks cards, and often they'll put their scene like this. Even though the Memory Decks card's going in this way, they'll put their scene this way, which is a great idea because you're going to take it out to reference it anyway if you want to bring it down and put it beside you so that you can kind of copy what you did and create more. But for this one, I'm going to put it over here and I'm going to pop it up again. And this time I'm going to use my tape because I can. Yeah, I can't believe it's Friday already. The week just, well, we had the holiday in there, Thanksgiving, so it kind of shortened the week. And I love popping things up. I don't know about you guys. And because I have tape right there, I'm going to take my little duster. What does Heather call it? She calls hers a sniffy tool. Oh, mine's cracked. I was wondering why all the powder was coming out. No, it's not cracked. It's a piece of plastic. Hi, Diane. How are you? Oh, it's coming unscrewed. That's why. I'm like, where's all this powder coming from? Oh, thanks, Diane. Completely understand. So that's our Memory Decks. and I love it. So the back, the idea with the back is I'll write down the paper, I'll write down the dye I used, and anything else I want to remember about how I created this. What was that tool? Which tool? Oh, it's a powder tool. This one was Taylor Expressions, but Heather has them in the store. She calls it a sniffy tool because it smells like baby powder. So what it does, Cheryl, is it removes adhesive. So where I wanted to pop this up and some of that adhesive was showing or sticky, I just rubbed the powder tool over the stickiness and now it's not sticky no more. So it's a great tool to use if you're embossing. So you put your powder down on your paper, like you just rub it over your paper. You put your embossing ink and then your embossing powder, and the powder removes static. So the embossing powder will only stick to your stamp and not your paper. So it is a great tool and it lasts you forever because you don't use much of it. So that's what that is. So yeah. So what do you think? I love that. So I thought I'd take, oh, I forgot. I wanted to have a spot for this. And I think I found it right there. And I think I'm going to use my tiny attacher. Very cool, yeah. The powder tool is cool. It's one of those ancient tools that's been around forever and a day. But it's one that you do need, and once you start using it, then you won't stop. So I just use my tiny attacher, attach the little bit of holly for some red pop. I love it. So for card, let me just show you, I grabbed some things. I'm not going to put it together right now, but I'm going to show you my thoughts behind using the globe as a card front. So again, I have this iridescent paper. It's called Iridescent, and it was a package, and one had these kind of little squarey pieces, and there was twirly things on another one. And of course, it's out of its package, so I don't know who made it, but any kind of foil card or glittery cardstock will do. And this is one of the pieces that were left after I made my card fronts, and I'll have lots, or after I made my envelopes, and I'll have lots for cards. So because it's a larger base, I'm going to put 2 shiny strips down, just a little, like a 1/16 probably away from the card front, and I'm going to put my base down just so that a little bit of that glisten is showing. And then I'm going to take my scene and kind of build it as I did with the other one, but I'm going to have it over to the side. So we're going to see the baubles, and then I'll build my scene. I'm definitely going to use always the 2 hills. I just think they look cute. Yes, it does smell good too. And maybe I'll do one that's just kind of a village. So I'll put the church in there. Let me get, that's the lamp post. So maybe I'll put the church over here. And if you wanted to make these snowy hills, you could. Like, there's nothing keeping you from putting this here or putting it underneath and making hilltops versus snow banks. I do like the snow banks. And maybe this time I'll put the church up top like this. And then we'll put tall house in back and a small one on this side. And then we can come in with a tree or 2. And that actually shows right through the window. and then some stars, and then we can even put some of these little balls cut out from the top here. And these are great accents for your envelopes as well. And then I'd stamp my saying. See how quick it comes together when you have things cut? So you throw on a movie and you do a bunch of die cutting, and that would be card number 2. And I'd probably repeat this kind of design. The scenes will be different depending on what my supplies are, but I love it. And then of course, if you wanted to make it a shaker card, that just means you're going to put some acetate, and you can't really puff it up unless you put one of those dome covers. Just taking my pieces. So if you wanted acetate, you would put the acetate on this piece. And you have to, and if you have a circle punch, you can probably punch acetate that's a little bit larger than the opening. You're going to put strong tape so that it would be your score tape all the way around. You're going to stick your acetate. You'll build your scene on this piece, and then you can put dimensional tape. And the best dimensional tape for little projects like this, for shaker elements, is these strips. It's and I know Heather has them. They're strips, and you can just mold them right around your piece, and they are great for shaker cards. That's what I use these for. And then you could put glitter, you could put your little stars, you could do whatever you wanted. And then once you built your scene, you would just pop this up, and then you'd have a shaker card with your scene. So there's just all kinds of things you can do. What do you think of that? I'm really happy with another Memory Decks card. So I'm going to put the date on it, I'm going to put what I used, and this is going to join the others in my sleigh. So this is the sleigh, and it's chipboard, so you can paint it up. I did put my Halloween card in here just because I'll never have a whole Halloween sleigh, but I purchased a couple packages of the different kind of Memory Decks decorations. So there's one here that's a thick plastic of a tree. There's a chipboard snowflake. There is, hi Irene, thank you very much. There is plastic mitt. There's a chipboard tree. There's a plastic snowflake, and there's a chipboard mitt. And you can actually decorate these. So like you can trace and decorate these and put them in. I'm just going to see how far I get, and I'm just using them as space fillers for now and building up. So I usually do Christmas cards the month of October and November, and I mail them out the 1st of December, and then my Christmas cards are done for the season. So I put a big drive on this time of the year, and so once I'm all done, I'm going to use this and put it out as a little home decor piece, and just to have out so that I can flip through and see all the different Christmas cards that I did this year, and next year I'll add to it. So that's my sleigh. And then after Christmas is done, I purchased the truck, and that will become my kind of everyday one. Now I did see All in Create came out with their own box, which is just a box, which is terrific. So I encourage you to do that, as it is a great spot to collect your ideas and save them, because sometimes, you know, our brains are just tired and we don't want to think about what we're doing. We just know we want to craft, And that's a good way to not have to think about it because you've already done it, and just play. Well, that's it for tonight. I will see you on Monday night with Come Color With Me. I have to decide which All in Create stamp I'm going to use for that. And we'll chat real soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. And thanks for joining me.